Hello, it's Alex here, and I know you get Kawa's Mind episodes on Tuesdays, and I know today's Friday. I mean, it's not just any Friday, it's Christmas Eve, but I'm gonna be honest, I've been so burned out lately. I talked about having finals at college lately, and since I've come back home for winter break, I've been working a lot, and it's really sucked a lot of the motivation out of me, to be honest. Just all the nonstop. Like as soon as I get out, I'll just start working. And the last couple of days, let's just say they've been kind of rough for me. I'm not gonna do a big stop story because I don't want to make you feel bad for me, but let's just say that again, it sucked a lot of the motivation out of me. To make a video essay to end off the year, which kind of sucks because I wanted to, but at the same time, topic that I want to discuss, I think, is also something that should be addressed more casually. So you're gonna get a vlog style. You're just gonna get a vlog. I'm probably not even gonna edit this honestly, because it is 1 in the morning, and I just want to spend the holidays with my family already. Like I said, I'm not posting next week. I'm not posting next Tuesday. I'm not posting next Friday. This is gonna be the last video I make for 2021. I just wanted to make this video to recap the year that we've had. So 2021. It's almost over. Like it's hard to believe we only have like a week left. That's crazy. Like where'd the time go? Seriously. Um, right out the window. I mean, if you're a Lincoln Park fan, you'll understand that. But anyway, so was it a good year for the left? Psh, no. Of course it wasn't. I mean, like no year is going to be a net good year for the left. Of course, there were so many setbacks this year. I mean, from the fact that we have a president who doesn't want to do anything, we have a Congress, specifically a Senate, that just doesn't want to do anything. We have a government that doesn't want to do anything. That is just a plain fact at this point. And so no, of course, it has not been a good year for the left. $15 minimum wage, like all the good policies, like $15 minimum wage that was in the initial American Rescue Plan, got stripped out of the bill by the Senate parliamentarian. Well, no, it didn't even get stripped out of the bill by the Senate parliamentarian. People like Kamala Harris were just too much. Were just too scared to actually overrule because even though they knew they could, and not only that, but Build Back Better. We're just seeing just bam, 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 like one by one, all the good provisions of it get stripped out. Universal pre-K. Now it's an opt-in program for the states where all the red states are obviously not going to opt into it. It's kind of like with Medicaid expansion under Obamacare. And one of the best things to come out of Obamacare. And also, expanded Medicare. That's getting stripped out of the bill. And if at this point, it doesn't even matter if it gets stripped out because it's clearly not going to pass. Um, we did get a bipartisan infrastructure bill though, and if you ever hear something passed by Congress with the word bipartisan in it, 99 times out of 100, run as fast as you can because chances are it is not good. It is a giant corporate giveaway, and that's exactly what the bipartisan infrastructure bill was. And it also gives a bunch of fossil fuel subsidies, which people like Joe Manchin love, obviously, and the net it produces more carbon emissions than it reduces. I suppose is the easiest way to say it. But I talked a lot about that in my last video, so I won't go into too much detail here. But I think that yeah, this was a major failure. So the federal government has completely failed. Now, I think probably the best thing Biden did was get out of Afghanistan. I mean, look, he's still doing drone bombing campaigns over there, and that's inexcusable. However, the fact that he got out on the ground troops there is something that I never would have expected him to do, and I expected him to back off in the face of all the public pressure. He didn't. He stuck to his guns, and it cost him. It cost him a lot of his goodwill that he had with the American people. And I think he deserves absolutely his approval rating to be below 40%, but you can't deny it was a bold decision and the right decision, I think. Now, again, I'm kind of grading on a curve here, but I'll give credit where it's due. But other than that, Biden has just been a massive, I would say disappointment, but at the same time, I really didn't have that high of expectations for him. It's like people like Kyle Kalinske have said. the best part of the Biden presidency was his first week when he was doing executive orders that reversed the worst of the Trump administration, like pulling out of the Paris Climate Agreement, the transgender ban, the ban on transgender people serving in the military, all that egregious stuff that Trump did and more. Of course, he blew a bunch of other ones, like getting back in the Iran deal, for instance. That was inexcusable, but so yeah, overall Biden, again, not a disappointment because he I didn't really have any expectations for him. But let's just say that the whole push him left thing failed miserably. And I think there are a lot of well-meaning people who genuinely bought into that, who genuinely believe they could. And I did for a while, actually, like almost 2 years ago. But I stepped out of it pretty quickly. And, I realized it's not going to happen. So, yeah, Biden's presidency hasn't been good at all. Federal government has completely abdicated its responsibilities to the people. But where else did we do well? Where do we do well? Because we can't just focus on the negatives, because even though overall this was not a net good year for the left, there were several things that are, that we should be willing to hold on to as wins. And the biggest thing, I would say, is the massive wave of labor strikes and the rise of a new labor movement. We saw it with Striketober, and then eventually it became Strikesgiving once November rolled around, and I suppose now it's Strikesmas because it's the holidays. I don't know, but you'll love to see it. And I'm back home in Connecticut now, but I go to college in Massachusetts, and the city, and in my city at college, the hospital nurses had been on strike since March, and they've recently reached an agreement with the hospital to end the strike and actually provide adequate staffing measures, which is what they were striking for in the first place. They haven't officially ratified it yet. They're going to ratify it after the new year, but they're expected to ratify it. And, just outside of that, we saw instances such as John Deere workers and more recently Kellogg's workers, where they shot down crappy contracts that didn't go nearly far enough, and they used their power to shoot them down and to negotiate for better contracts. These contracts may not be perfect, but they are way more than what they would have gotten if they hadn't stood their ground. And that goes to show just, again, workers are tired. Workers are tired of being exploited and mistreated, and they're ready to rise up and actually demand something. And that's exactly what we've seen this year. And that is by far the biggest win for the left in 2021. And it's absolutely something to be happy about. Not only that, but, a big one, obviously, in Starbucks in Buffalo, Starbucks workers unionized, and they're the first Starbucks store ever to have a union. That's fantastic news. Nothing short of amazing news. And these are things that I think we're going to continue to dominate on going into 2022 and beyond. And that's the biggest thing to take away, really. That is, it was an incredible year for labor unions. There's no doubt about it. And also, just in some news regarding state level stuff, we're seeing more and more movement at the state level with regards to good policy. Here in Connecticut, over the summer, we legalized marijuana, which, it was about time we did that. It's been a really long time coming, especially because, other states that are near us, like New York, New Jersey, Massachusetts, they had all legalized it by the time we did. New Jersey, home to the pharmaceutical industry, New York, home to the alcohol industry. Obviously, they're not the homes of it, but they're where it's really prominent. And those are industries that are fighting tooth and nail against legal marijuana because it cuts into their profits. It's a competitive industry. So really, by that point, Connecticut really had no excuse. But eventually, we did it. We legalized marijuana here, and couldn't be prouder. And the ironic thing is, the one Republican state senator to vote to legalize marijuana in Connecticut was my state senator, and the reason that's ironic is because he's an ex-cop, but he votes to legalize marijuana. And then it turns out his wife works at a medical marijuana plant. I think it was medical. It might have been recreational, but I'm pretty sure it was medical. Of course, he said it has nothing to do with his vote, but nobody buys that. whatever. I'm just happy he was right for like the 5th time in his life. But yeah, so that was a win, I thought. Man, just made me proud to be a nutmegger. And in Massachusetts, as I've mentioned on this channel before, I was involved, and I still am involved, with a group called MassPIRG, Massachusetts Public Interest Research Group. I've talked about them before, but we've been fighting for a bill in the Massachusetts State Legislature to go to 100% renewable energy, and we made significant progress on it. We built support for it on campus and in the legislature too, and it eventually got a hearing in the committee, and that's a huge step forward, really. We'll see where we continue to go in 2022, but we made incredible progress on that in 2021, and that goes to show the power of direct action and specific issue advocacy. Because if that's a path that the left focuses on, then there is a lot of potential, especially at the state and local level. Because, again, like I said, the federal government has kind of abdicated their duties. Now, that's not to say we shouldn't stop fighting for the policies that they're pushing, for the policies that we're pushing. But it does mean that, especially because the Republican takeover of Congress in 2022 is all but inevitable at this point, we should focus more, I think, on state and local levels. And, speaking of which, socialists did pretty well in local elections this year, especially in Massachusetts, especially Cambridge, and in the greater Boston area. But overall, let's just say that more socialists won on Election Day this year than Terry McAuliffe's. And nothing makes me happier than that. And it was mostly at the local level, so that's where the real power comes from. So that's amazing. I didn't plan this video out, honestly, so I'm just kind of shooting from the hip here. I'm just spitballing. But I'm sure I'm missing something. But these things that we have for the left, look, again, it wasn't a good year because, at the end of the day, a lot of these steps are incremental. But I think they represent a sea change that is coming, especially with the massive new wave of labor strikes. That represents a sea change, I think, of what's to come. And, direct issue advocacy, especially at the state and local level, that's something that can have a direct impact, as we've seen, not here in Massachusetts, but you get the point. Not here, but there. Again, I'm just rambling now. I've been staying up way too late. I should probably go to sleep, but I'm going to finish this video. So, yes. Union advocacy and direct issue advocacy / direct action, those are the paths forward for the left in 2022. And, I've brought up this lyric before, but, as I've shared on the channel before, I'm a Rise Against, one of my favorite bands. One of their new songs has the lyric, "They have the power, but we have the numbers." And I think 2021 has shown that. They're still powerful. They're still trying to keep us down, and they're still but we outnumber them in terms of people power. And we've seen many instances this year, despite the setbacks, and there were plenty of setbacks this year. I don't want to understate that. But we also need to highlight the wins that we achieved this year because they're going to help keep us going in the long run. And lastly, I want to thank all of you. I want to take this moment right now to just say thank you for watching my channel this year, and thank you for supporting me. Sometimes, I would stay up really late just to get a video out, and seeing the positive response you all would give to it really was encouraging. And to see I just randomly decided earlier this year I was going to unlist every video from my channel and just completely restart and make new political content. I hadn't decided right away, but after I unlisted my videos, after a while I decided, I want to start making political content. At the time I had less than 50 subscribers, and now I have over 400. And that is nothing short of amazing. And once again, I owe Mike Figueredo from the Humanist Report for that shout out that he gave me. That is the reason for my massive subscriber growth. And, maybe we didn't get too far past 400, but it's still massive growth. And we're building a new community, and I have a feeling we're going to continue to grow in 2022 and beyond. And so I thank you for your support and for your solidarity and for all the kind words that you have said in the comments, for all the likes that you've left, for subscribing, just even for watching. And to those of you that have stuck around throughout the year, thank you. And again, you are my source of motivation. And you're why I continue to make videos. I genuinely enjoy this, but I enjoy it a hell of a lot more thanks to your support. And I hope you all have a Merry Christmas, if that's what you celebrate. But have a great holiday. Spend time with your family. Have a great new year, everybody. I will see you all in 2022. And we got a lot to celebrate this year. Let's keep it going.